Thank you, John, and thank you for the invitation to present. Okay, you know very well the forward-looking statements, of course. Okay, the presentation will be in two parts. The first one presenting our key properties in Quebec, and then the second part present the highlights of the company on the 2020 outlook. For the key properties, we have four. Two located in the James Bay region, mid-north Quebec, and two other properties in Nunavik, far north Quebec. As you know, last Tuesday, we released critical information regarding the Elmer property, which is owned 100% by Azimut. Quebec is a large province, about 3 times the size of France, 1.6 million square kilometers. And Quebec is recognized as having one of the best digital database worldwide. And since its start, Azimut is just processing on a systematic basis the database to optimize discovery chances. And we believe that it's the first critical initial step to reduce the risk in exploration. This led us to acquire a number of properties across Quebec based on the way we process data and to optimize our work in predictive modeling. Today, Azimut has 27 properties, totaling 11,000 claims for a little bit more than 5,000 square kilometers. We are involved in two main regions. The first one, the James Bay region in the central part of Quebec, and 5 other properties, far north Quebec, especially the Rex and Rex South properties. Now we focus in the James Bay region. We will report the progress we made in 2019 on two key properties, the Elmer property and the Piqua property. These two properties are located each side of the Elmer mine, which is the first mining operation in this region, owned and operated by Newmont. We often say that you only need one discovery hole to make the initial step of discovery. In that case, we have been quite lucky because the 7 discovery holes hit, and with significant grade over significant width. We don't know we don't know yet what is a true width, but at least we know that it's a very significant system. We will move forward on the Elmer property. The Elmer property is a 22-kilometer long property with already known prospect, but the pattern discovery has never been explored by the past. The prospect itself has been discovered in 1999 by Cambior during a short prospecting program. Total amount of known samples was 23 with some high grade, but when we have acquired the property in 2018, we directly focused on this pattern prospect, and we started to do systematic sampling at surface. It's an outcrop in the middle of a swamp, but very quickly we have been able to deliver some interesting results through grab sampling and channel sampling. This led us to really go for an initial drill program to prove the vertical continuity of the system, and of course this has been proven by the last results we issued this week. What is interesting is the potential extent of the pattern discovery. We foresee a potential 7-kilometer long strength. Eventually, it's open to the southwest and open to the northeast. We have also the adjacent property, and this provides us an additional 15-kilometer strike extent. The what we call the high-grade trend over 7 kilometers is a concept based on already known high-grade showings previously found by the former owners, including the gold zone, the E zone, the Glabro zone. But the patron discovery is really in the middle of the trend. And you will see in more detail the next slide why we believe in it. For the moment, what we know from the discovery is a 200-meter long strike. The apparent width at surface is ranging from 50 to 70 meters, but you see there are real potential extension according to the MAC survey. This zone is controlled by a shear zone, and with a complex set of veins. We have identified so far 3 sets of veins, which all of them are gold-bearing. What is interesting, the surface observations that we made at a very early stage have been confirmed by drilling. For the moment, we know gold mineralization down to 100 meters, and of course, it's wide open at depth, and it's wide open along strike. We have also, why it's attracting us, there is another high-grade prospect here, just emerging in the middle of nowhere of a swamp. It's a high 25 gram per ton gold prospect that we found during the past summer survey. And there is also another high-grade showings located about 800 meters from the main patron prospect. Overall, we foresee at least a 1.5 kilometer long target at current time. The critical next step will be the ground geophysics we are performing right now. We are performing a detailed induced polarization survey, which hopefully will provide us with a footprint for the patron discovery, and hopefully this will generate additional quality drill target along strike. And this should be available, the results should be available in mid-February, about mid-February. Today, in the Jamesbury region, on the property, we had like very cold weather, minus 35 degrees, and it's a little bit more difficult for the team to operate. Saying that, a drill section, one of the hole 1, hole 2, hole 3, we see a very good correlation between surface observations with the drill results. In fact, we have been surprised by the thickness compared to what we knew at surface. Here it's covered by overburden, which means that we can't do surface observations. But of course, this is larger than expected. What we see, very consistent visible gold along holes, in each hole, in all 7 holes. And it's quite wide. And the grade is very consistent. It's a strong system with a lot of pyrite, and it's a good early indication that the AP survey will work and will provide us quality targets in the near future, hopefully. I want to stress the point that we are at an early stage, but of course we believe that it's a potential discovery with a strong potential along strike and of course at depth. For the moment we have only one zone known, but eventually we may have like superparallel zones. There are some indications based on the location of some high-grade showings nearby. Now we go to a second high-quality property that we staked in 2016. This is a joint venture with Sequem SOQUEM is a governmental agency for exploration. We have we have 6 properties in joint venture with SOQUEM, and 3 up north in far north Quebec, in Nunavik. What is interesting with this property, you have probably heard about the Mithril discovery by Midland last year. Of course, it's very interesting because it's a copper, gold, molybdenum, silver discovery. But we were, we started doing exploration 4 years ago, 3 years ago on this property. And we have been, of course, attracted by this property based on our predictive modeling covering the James-Bay region. Okay, what is interesting? We have identified a 20-kilometer long property with a very robust indication that we may have a robust copper, gold, molybdenum, silver system. Based on what? Based on a Quebec scale or James Bay scale lake bottom sediment geochemistry. This is a very useful tool to identify at a very early stage major targets. And this property has been identified as a major target based notably, not only, but notably by the copper content in lakes. We did an EM survey. We have found a number of very strong conductors, strong EM conductors. We started prospecting, and we have found a large number of glacial blocks that we call boulders. And also this has been confirmed by outcrop, by the discovery of high-grade outcrops. Okay, and now we divided the play in two segments, each one 10 kilometers long, and now we will focus on this side. Okay, this is a close-up. What is interesting is a very strong correlation between a lake bottom sediment anomaly in copper, which is very, very strong, well developed, with a soil anomaly, a 5.5 kilometer soil anomaly in copper, well correlated with mineralized block in black here, and also mineralized outcrops. The grades are, again, very interesting. We have up to 20.1% copper in boulders. About 141 boulders are mineralized along this strike. And we have also discovered a very interesting outcrop delivering 9.8% copper, 13.4 grams per ton. And this is a very good starting point just to prove that we're dealing with a major system. We compare this system to the largest copper mine in Northern Europe, the Aitik mine, owned and operated since the past 50 years by Boliden. It's a 2 billion ton mine, which may fit within this target size. We have the size, we have the target, the right size of the target to put a true world-class mine. And at current time, we are doing a survey, again, an IP survey, which will cover this trend. And hopefully, we will delineate quality drill target, and the target will be drilled this year. Now we move to the north, to the Rex trend. The Rex trend, it's very simple. It's a giant copper anomaly which has been identified by lake bottom sediment. Here you see the coverage in Quebec of the lake sediment database, accounting for more than 200,000 samples. It's incredible, but it's one of the largest databases in the world. And we are using this database to this led to identify this 300-kilometer long trend in copper. We're talking about a true new mineral province. It's an underexplored, neglected giant target Our early preliminary work in the region led to the discovery of more than 30 mineralized zones, copper-gold mineralized zones, but also tungsten and tin. We signed last year a $40 million option agreement with SOCOEM, again the governmental agency in Quebec. The first option, they will have to spend $16 million the next 3 years now for 50% interest in the project. They have a second option where they will have to spend an additional $8 million per project, totaling $24 million to earn an additional 10% interest. And of course, we operate all these properties on behalf of the Quebec government. Very briefly, because we have too many values, but all the significant showings on prospect and mineralized zones are located here. And please refer to the January 7, 2020 press release to gain further information on these properties. But of course, we believe, it's not a belief, but for us, both properties are showing just very, very strong footprint, the size of a potential mining district. Now, a more corporate information, some corporate background. The board, well-experienced people on the legal side, mining side, exploration side, and financial side as well. Located not only in Quebec, but in Vancouver and in Toronto as well. Corporate information, Azimut has been founded in 1986. We have 58.5 million shares outstanding. The capital structure has never been consolidated. The float is estimated at 21 million shares. Briefly, ownership, 5% for the insiders, 30% for Quebec-based institutions, 28% corporate and private investors, maybe more or less 10 groups. What is important to outline, Azimut has always been a very, what we try to do is to control as much as possible the dilution process, which is a killer for the mining business, for the junior companies. And through time, Azimut can clearly demonstrate that we have one of the lowest share dilution rates in the junior space, with an average of 1.7 million shares issued per year on average over a 34-year period. And this is very, very unusual. Because we believe that at the time we make a discovery, the discovery value will be reflected in the share price. If you have a small number of shares, the stock price will go up. Saying that, exploration expenditures over the past 16 years, 67 million have been partner-funded exploration, and we funded on our side about $13.5 million, which represent a 5-to-1 financial leverage. Again, about over the past 16 years, 83% of the exploration funds are from our partners. Okay, just a summary. Quebec, as you know, is one of the top mining jurisdictions worldwide. It's a well-reputed location to conduct exploration from early stage to the mining stage. Azimut is the holder. We have the largest exploration portfolio in the province. We do predictive modeling applied to mineral exploration from the first day in 2003 with a new business plan. This led us to discover more than 400 mineral prospects across the province, in the James Bay region, in far north Quebec especially. This led us, this approach led us also to develop a large number of partnerships, agreements. We had 3 strategic agreements with Rio Tinto, one for nickel, the other one for the IOCG type, and the last one for uranium. We have 2 deals with Newmont, 2 with IAMGOLD, 2 with Hecla Mining, and 2 strategic agreements with Soquem, for a total investment to date amounting to $67 million. Outlook for 2020 is very, very simple. A minimum, and I underline a minimum of $6 million exploration budget, including $4 million, which are already funded by Soquem. This budget will be essentially drilling a minimum of 12,000 meters of diamond drilling, especially on the Elmer property, on the Piqua property, Rex and Rex South. Thank you.